So, a painter. Poppy? Never mind, it's Relm. First off, her Trustmaster reward boosts MP of all things, which is pretty low on the priority list. It does have a small limit burst regen buff, but that doesn't exactly make it top tier. Her Super Trustmaster reward is a paintbrush that's actually a rod. It has a high amount of attack for whatever reason, and somehow it still ends up fairly middling in terms of flat stats. It does have a bonus effect that boosts your unit's limit burst gauge fill rate by 200%, and their attack and magic by 20%, which sort of balances it out. This hybrid pair is quite strange, though it makes a lot more sense when you realize that Relm can deal physical and magical damage. Onto her active abilities. Magic Drawing Chains of Chaos Wave Awaken, and deals magic damage. Physical Drawing is an absolute mirror of equity attack that deals physical damage. Wow, what a shock. Combat Paint will grant your team resistance to attack and magic breaks, and boost their attack and magic by 200%. It's actually fairly low compared to what most units are capable of nowadays. Masterpiece Sketch apparently causes Relm to cough up blood. In return, it'll restore a good amount of your team's MP and limit burst gauge. Spirit Sketch can grant your team a decent fairy killer. Undead Sketch gives a Reaper killer. Flame Sketch inflicts a 120% fire imperil and boosts your team's fire damage by 10%. Spark Sketch does the same, but deals with lightning. Total Eraser is a complete dispel, affecting both your team and your enemies. When you pose for a portrait, will increase your team's attack and magic stat by 230%, lower the enemy's rod resistance by 35%, and enable a triple cast. Unfortunately, this ability's cooldown greatly exceeds the effect's duration. You're Still Standing drops an anvil on Relm, but in return, it'll fill everyone's limit burst gauge by a great amount, boost their limit burst gauge fill rate, and increase their limit burst damage by 100%. She can also triple cast Black Magic, not that that really matters with this lineup. Onto her passives. With her Trustmaster reward or Super Trustmaster reward equipped, she'll get a weak killer for fairies and reapers. Her limit burst gauge fill rate has some notable boosts, which is fairly useful considering her limit burst is fairly heavy. Speaking of which, it deals magic damage and can raise your team's fire and lightning damage up to 15%. So how good is Relm? She's quite a support character for a 7-star unit, especially for lacking any alternatives for her support abilities. Her damage output is incredibly underwhelming, though it's nice that her chaining abilities are part of fairly common families. Many magic damage dealers can take advantage of her ability to lower the enemy's rod resistance, which certainly gives this character some viable use. All in all, she's a pretty capable unit with some useful abilities that can ensure her competence, especially since the other painter is nowhere to be seen. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below if you managed to get Relm while you were trying to get Terra, and tell me if you got enough copies if you got her Super Trustmaster reward already.